topic tonight is let love into your life. Is that right? Good idea. Good idea. So we're going to talk about a few things in relation to all of this. Many things are connected, as always. Those of you who have been to my previous talks, you've heard what I'm going to say now. But those of you who haven't, this is all very important information, something that we all need to know. This is how the understanding of life really begins. And that is knowing who we are, subject of identity. We speak from the platform of the Vedic scriptures. This is called Vedic knowledge. Veda means truth. The Vedic scriptures are the most ancient scriptures. Actually, they were written down 5,000 years ago. But the knowledge contained in this Vedic scriptures is eternal. So prior to being written down, it was passed down orally from one perfect master to the next. Such a line of perfect teachers is known as a disciplic succession or a parampara. We are in the parampara known as the Brahma Sampradaya, and we feel very fortunate to receive our knowledge through this lineage. So this is not my opinion, see. I'm just passing on this eternal science. So in the Vedas, it says that we should all ask ourselves the question, who am I? But unfortunately, we almost never ask this question because we think we already know the answer. Now, certainly we all have our identity. We've had them our whole life. We have in our minds, we have them on our lips, we have them in our pockets. Meaning, this is who I think I am, this is who I tell others I am, and I can prove it. Here's my passport, my documents, you see. Now, we accept this, and so does everyone else. But is this our true identity? And upon close examination, we find this is only a compilation of many labels. And the labeling process begins at birth. So all of us here, right now, soon as we took birth, received one of two labels, male or female. And we are still identified like that today. I'm a man or I'm a woman. At the same time, we get another label according to our race, Caucasian, Negroid, whatever it may be. Our national identity can be very strong. I am Canadian, I'm American. And our family identity, we belong to this family. And actually this identity is so strong that every day on this planet, one person kills another person just because they got a different label. And this is just the beginning. Many labels come and go throughout our entire life. So once again at birth, we're also known as babies, then kids, we start school, now we're students. A few more years go by and we become teenagers. And then finally adults. We take up some profession in life and we're known accordingly. Doctors, lawyers, secretaries, nurses. Then we get married. Immediately we're a husband or a wife. We have a child. And now we're parents, fathers, mothers. A few more years go by, grandfathers, grandmothers. And this is how we see ourselves. This is me. This is who I am. And this continues on and on until we finally get the last label, dead. You see? But looking closely, we see this is all in relation to our material bodies. Yes, it's true. The body is male or female, black or white, old or young, big or little. Whatever the body is, it is. That is true. The question is this who we are? Every day, we all take our pilgrimage to the mirror to see how we look. Sometimes we're a little disappointed. We always come back the next day. Maybe there's been some improvement. Usually not. But do we really see ourselves? So the question is, am I this material body? Now, if we want the most authoritative answer, we should go to the revealed scriptures of the world. And there we learn very quickly, no, you're not the material body. But this is the modern world. Very rare does anyone go to Scripture to find the truth in life. But we do readily accept the conclusion of the scientist. You see, we like the scientists because they prove things. And in this case, the scientists have proven in the laboratories that we're not our material bodies. They've discovered there's no cell in the human body that lives more than 5 years. Some cells have a very short life. For instance, the lining of the stomach, those cells live 5 days. Our skin cells, 1 month. Liver cells, 6 weeks, etc. But in 5 years, everything has changed. So if I'm looking at a photograph of myself taken 10 years ago, the eyes in the photograph are different than the eyes I'm looking at the photograph with. Actually, not the same eyes. According to this scientific knowledge, if I'm 35 years old, I've had 7 bodies. But of course, we all know we're not 7 different people. Everybody knows, hey, I'm still me. So the changing factor is the material body. The constant factor is ourself. Yeah, we're not these material bodies. Now, at this point, some people become introspective. They begin to look inside to find out who they really are. And when we do look inside, what do we find? Oh, there's emotion, desire, sentiment, feeling, will, all very real. And it's easy to conclude, aha, this is who I really am. Maybe we even have some experience that reinforces this. Let's say we're very emotionally upset. And we recognize when people look at us, they don't see us. All they see is the outside cover. So we might feel very lonely. Sometimes we even say, gee, nobody really knows me. But again, we must confirm this conclusion with Scripture, especially the Vedic Scriptures, because they're very detailed in this knowledge. And when we do, we find we made another mistake. This is not who we are either. This is actually another material body. It's called the subtle mental body, sometimes called the astral body. I know some of you have heard of the astral body. So really we have 2 bodies. We've got our physical body and we have our mental body. Like having on 2 layers of clothing. We have our outer layer and then we have our underlayer. But who are we? So once again, we go to the Vedas. And there we learn we are in a different category of energy. Everything is energy. Our bodies are material energy. But we learn that we are a spiritual energy. And we further learn we're a tiny little spark of spiritual energy. We learn that material energy is temporary. And that's very easy to see. We know all too well our bodies are very temporary. So much so we don't even want to talk about it. Hey, don't talk about that, see? But even the more permanent things like this building, come back here in 1,000 years. Gee, where was that lecture again? See? Temporary. But we learned that spirit is eternal. Eternal means no beginning and no end. So we are eternal. We also learn material energy is non-living, and that's easy to see. This table or this microphone, there's no life. But we learn that spirit is life itself. There's no such thing as live matter. There's no such thing as dead spirit. We are the life force in the body. And as long as we're present in the body's called alive. But actually, this is not true. The body is dead. We are alive. And that becomes very obvious at the time of death. At the time of death, we leave the body. And at that moment, the body reveals its true nature. You can't even sit in a chair. It falls on the floor. See? So we are the life force in the body. Therefore, our true identity is spirit soul. Spirit meaning that we're spiritual in essence. Soul meaning the individual spiritual sparks that we eternally are. We never become someone else. We never cease to exist. Now for some people it's very depressing news. What? I'll always be me? Gee, I thought it's going to be over soon. Sorry, it's never over. But when we learn the truth in life, this becomes very wonderful news. So once again, we are spirit soul. We further learn we're part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. There is a Supreme Soul from which we all come. We are known as the Atma, and the Supreme Soul is the Paramatma. So this is the foundation of understanding life. If we don't know this, it's impossible to understand life. Now, have we been taught this? And the answer is in most all cases, no, we haven't, you see. So what does that actually mean? It means we've been taught something else. See, we've been taught you are the body. You are a male, you are a female, you are young or old or whatever the body is, whatever these temporary designations are, we have been made to believe this is who we are. Mm-hmm. And under our illusion, we also think like that. See? So we think from other people's influence, and we think from actually our internal illusion. I am this body, see? So we're living a lie. It's not true. Something that's not true is called a lie. We've been taught a lie, see? And we propagate that same lie. So the whole planet, basically, has been lied to, and it's continuing to lie to every other person that takes birth. As soon as a person takes birth, they start receiving this. And they continue throughout their life and teach others the same. So this is unfortunate, you see. The reason we can't let love into our life, the reason we're so closed, you see, is because actually we live in the world of lies. And when we're all like that, to protect ourselves, we close ourselves, you see. I was just reading in the, actually it was on the news, CNN News. There was a minister in England, this was in the UK, I'll read you what he said. At the sermon, it was just before Christmas, and so the message was that the real meaning of Christmas isn't Santa, Barbies, and Xboxes. It is about the birth of baby Jesus and the light he brought to the world. See? Truth, right? Very profound truth. But the reaction to that from the people that were listening to this sermon was very, very negative. One person said, I will not allow my child, I don't think he said I will not allow, he said, I am very hesitant to allow my child to go to church because I don't know what else they're going to hear. You see, they might hear the truth. If they go to church and hear the truth, I don't want them to go there, you see. Another minister in, I forget where it was, maybe this was in England too, but somewhere, it doesn't matter where, basically delivered the same message. Different wording, but the same message. So, one of the authorities in the church was very apologetic to everybody, was sorry, and he told all the kids, you know, I'm going to write a personal letter to Santa, you know, and tell him that we're sorry for this and that he will write you a letter and say he's sorry that you were misled like this. And the kids said, thank you very much. Good. Tell Santa we love him. You see? So this is what's going on in the world today. Everybody's lying to everybody else. We're all living a lie. It starts with thinking I'm this material body. The next lie is this world is my home. This is lie number 2. I am this material body. I am the enjoyer of this body is me, da-da-da. The next is, this world is my home. You see, this is my home. Mm-hmm. And therefore, the next part of this whole thing is, I can be happy here. See, I can be happy in this world. I can be happy in my home. This is the next thing we're taught. You can be happy here. And here's your formula. And they give us this formula for material success. Go get this education, all material education based totally on this, false identity, illusion, etc., etc. This is important. If you get this education, then your life can be successful. If you don't, it won't be successful. Means, in my understanding, you'll be happy. That's what a successful life is, a happy life, satisfied, internally satisfied. Truly happy, truly satisfied. But we are receiving another set of rules. You must be a material success. Get this education, get this degree, get this job, make this money. And with all of this success, you can buy all the things necessary to make you happy. That's what Christmas is about, right? It's turned into a whole material, crazy attempt to be happy. A part of that article was Santa equals the con of Santa equals the con of materialism. See, we're all conned into this whole thing. The idea is get the presents, get the goodies, get the toys, you see, and be happy. But it doesn't work. See, everybody's doing that. Everybody's been doing that a long time. Everybody's doing it more than they've ever done it before. See, when I was a kid, Jesus was pretty much in the center of Christmas. Not completely, but definitely that was the message, see. There was a nativity scene. But now I walk down the streets and I don't see nativity scenes in the yards of people's houses. I see candy canes, Santa Claus, reindeer. See, what was it in that article I read? It said in England, everybody puts out sherry for Santa Claus and mince pie for the reindeer, you see. And then the parents, of course, the kids, they're all part of this. Okay, we're going to give Santa, he's had a hard journey, you see, so we're going to put this out for him so we have a little something to keep him going, a little sherry. And then the reindeer will be hungry, so here's the mince pie. So the parents eat it and drink it over the night, and the next morning the kids wake up, oh, look, Santa was here, he ate all this stuff. You see? Just propagate illusion. This is against our well-being. This is not in favor of our well-being. This is against our well-being, see. The Vedas say, no, you should learn the truth. The Holy Bible, what does it say? You shall learn the truth, and the truth shall set you free. But the opposite of that would be, you shall be in illusion, and illusion will keep you in bondage. So here we are. Now, what is the bondage that's talked about, or what is the freedom? See, the bondage is I remain in the material world. I remain in a material body, which is destined to cause me nothing but pain and suffering. That's the nature of the material body. See, as soon as one takes birth, it begins, even before, in the womb. It's so cramped in here. See, not very comfortable in here. And as we get a little bigger, we start kicking. And the mother's going, oh, a nice little guy. And the guy's going, let me out of here. Wow, I can't hardly breathe, and it's so tight, And then, boom, blasted out the birth canal. Whoosh. See? Oh, glorious birth. And the baby's going, oh, man, what was that about? You ever seen a newborn baby die? Like, where you been, man? Oh, don't talk about it, Let's forget that part. In fact, we do. Anybody remember being born? No, it's so painful that we forget it, see? Actually, one night I was giving a lecture on reincarnation. That was the lecture I was speaking about that night. And this man came up after the lecture. I mentioned something like I just did. And he came after the lecture and said, you know what? I remember being in the womb. I remember being born. I remember my mother taking me, putting me on her breast. I remember my first drink of milk from my mother's breast. I went, wow, that's great. What was it like? Can you describe it? Because in the Vedic scriptures, it describes life in the womb. Very, very much detail. And his description was almost identical with what we learn from the Vedic teaching. See? Very hellish condition. Mm. So that's just the beginning. That's where it all starts. See? And then it continues on. See? All the pains of baby life. See? So many things going on, and I can't communicate, can't talk yet. So all I can do is cry, and the mother doesn't know what I need. She's thinking, oh, he needs something to eat. I don't need anything to eat. I need, something else. See, very difficult time. And then gradually we start getting it together. We can, start to try to be a little mobile, but we crash all the time. And then get up, and we go through that crashing period. And then we we can walk a little bit and cause a lot of trouble and get scolded for it. So your parents, stop it, don't touch this, don't do that. But man, I just want to do stuff, So they put locks on all the cabinet doors so I can't open them. I'm frustrated, you see. And then we grow up and we figure out how to crack the locks and cause a lot of trouble that way. And anyway, you can get the pattern. It's from before we're even born in the womb, and it just continues on and on. See, teeth, part of the body, right? If you got teeth, they'll cause you problems. Even before they come out, they cause you problems. Oh, the baby's crying all night. What's wrong? He's teething. It doesn't even have teeth yet. And the teeth are making him miserable, you see. And then they come out and they start falling out, and they run around with no teeth up here. See? Of course, what's the next little lie they tell us? Don't worry, every tooth, the tooth fairy will come and give a reward. You see, kind of ease the pain, take that old tooth and stick it under the pillow. Next morning, there's a dollar bill there. Oh, the tooth fairy came. Oh, he's happy about that. You see, part of the illusion. See, propagate. Mm-hmm. And then we go on and we get older and all the other pains. And then it starts being emotional pains. Oh, I'm not a beautiful lady, or, my body's weird, or nobody likes me, and all the teenage stuff, and then the puberty. And where does it end, At death. That's not easy either. You see, old age. Oh, that's the golden years, don't you know? See, that's the golden years, my friend. Don't worry. See, that's some young guy coined that, Old people say, it's just hell. No, don't think like that. It's golden. Yeah, that's when the leaves fall off the trees. Don't you know that? Getting ready to die here. Mm-hmm. And then there's that fearful time of death. Boom. And then what? It all starts over again. You see? Because we're eternal. It doesn't end at death. See? No matter how much you believe it does, it doesn't. See? That's another part of the illusion. Just another lie. See? There's that whole philosophy, you are the body, and, when you die, it's finished, and don't worry. See? But you die, the body's there, and you're here, and it didn't finish, and, wow, what is this? See? Led astray again. And then we enter into another womb, forget all that misery, and start all over again. Wow, this is great. And that's called material bondage. And along the way, we're never happy. We're never satisfied. We've done everything to be happy, but we're not. See? We've bought all the toys, experienced all the joys, been here, done that kind of thing. Still not happy, see? So, after many, many lifetimes of this, maybe I become receptive to the truth. Oh, gee, I want to hear the truth. What's wrong here? There must be another message that I haven't heard yet. And there is. It's the message of the Vedas. See, the message of the truth. The Vedas are not a sectarian religion. This is truth. See, it has nothing to do with sectarian beliefs. Truth is always true, absolute truth. See? In the material world, the truth, even as it is relative truth. It's relative. It's dependent on a whole lot of circumstances to make it true. See? An example is water. See? Water freezes at 0 degrees, right? Yeah? No. Only under a certain set of circumstances. If it's at sea level. See? Boils at 100 degrees. Oh, it's sea level, but take it to 3,000 meters, 9,000 feet, it boils lower. See? So it's dependent on altitude. And it depends on the purity of water. Put salt in the water, it doesn't freeze at zero. See? All kinds of things are concerned in the truth. Absolute truth is different than that. It's absolutely true always. It's not dependent on any other circumstances to make it true. Mm-hmm. We are absolutely spirit souls. We're not our material bodies. That's an absolute truth. That never changes. I, the spirit soul, can enter in and do enter into many, many different bodies. This lifetime we're in human bodies. This particular body we're in. A male body, a female body. We have our certain set of parents and et cetera, et cetera. Whatever our situation is right now. That's who we are relatively as far as our body goes. But the absolute identity is I'm spirit soul. Next lifetime, I wind up in a dog body. See? So now my external identity is a dog. But my eternal, true identity is same guy, spirit soul. I'm not any different than before. Last lifetime I was in a human body, now I'm the same. See, I just got on a different suit of clothes. I changed clothes, now I'm looking like a dog. You see? And on it goes. So as an absolute person, we need to know the absolute truth. You see? If I don't know the absolute truth, I'll never be free. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. What is freedom? See, again, that's part of the illusion. Freedom is the freedom to enjoy your senses uncontrollably, unrestricted. Anything you want to do. Any sense desire you have. Any desire in your mind that comes up, pursue it. And therefore, if you can do that without anybody getting in your way, you can be happy. That's freedom, see. That's what people fight for. I want to be able to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, and how I want to do it. That's considered freedom. That's not freedom. That's bondage, you see. We're more free in this way than ever before. There's less restrictions on our sensual activities than ever before. And is everybody feeling happy and satisfied? No. Less so than ever before. In fact, the symptoms are the opposite. We're more depressed, more anxiety, there's more mental disturbance, there's more crazy acts of violence, all kinds of things, which are symptoms of, this guy's not a happy guy. Something wrong here. See? And the ultimate proof is more and more people are committing suicide than ever before. Suicide is the extreme end of unhappiness, where everything is so bad that you just decide, I want out of here. I want to give it all up. And so you kill yourself, quote, the body. Let's see, part of the illusion. I'm this body. Therefore, I can end all of these problems and miseries and depressions and anxieties and, by killing my body, which is me in my misunderstanding. So I do, see. And more people are taking this escape. This is their new solution, their new freedom, see. I'll just liberate myself by killing myself. On the planet today, every 40 seconds, a person commits suicide. Every 40 seconds. That means since I started talking, many people have taken their own life. Mm-hmm. But we're not the body. They kill the body and they don't die. They're still them. Now they've got all their previous problems, but now they have a whole nother set of problems, you see. They got the karma that comes with that. The reaction, see. All of these attempts to be happy are only creating more and more future suffering, see, as a result of our bad karma. This is the laws of material nature. We can't change this. But we don't know these things because nobody teaches us. Nobody teaches us what we should know, and everybody teaches us what we don't really need to know. See? All backwards. So we're on this wheel of birth and death, going around and around and around. Many lifetimes in many different situations, but basically it's all the same. Freedom means I get off of the wheel of birth and death. That's freedom. Freedom from taking another material birth. Freedom from being under the control of the laws of material nature. Freedom from false identity. Freedom from all this illusion. See, freedom from all pain, suffering, hardship, death. Going to another world. There is another world. And that world is called the spiritual world. This world is called the material world. See, and this is what we think is our home. Material world is basically composed primarily of material energy. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, etc. Material elements make up the material world. Inanimate. Tables, microphones. No life. But interjected within this vast amount of material energy are tiny little spiritual sparks. That's us, the spirit soul. So we are these spiritual personalities in this material world, you see. But again, completely misled, completely under this illusion. I am the body, I am the enjoyer, I am the supreme, and whatever, all this false identity. We have a big problem, see. The spiritual world is a world made of what? Spiritual energy. There's no material energy there. It's called the Vaikuntha world. The Vaikuntha world means the world with no anxiety. Vaikuntha means no anxiety. Can you imagine a world with no anxiety? You don't have to worry about anything because there's nothing to worry about. See? Of course, some of us would find, gee, I don't have a thing to do. See? We like to worry. If there's nothing to worry about, we worry because I'm not worrying. Gee, I should be worrying about something. There must be something to worry about. Oh, there's plenty. Don't worry. Though we don't run out of things to worry about. But in the spiritual world, the Vaikuntha world, there's nothing to worry about. There's no anxiety. But that's not the ultimate solution here. That's not what makes the spiritual world perfect. What makes the spiritual world perfect is it's where I can experience positive, spiritual happiness, pleasure, fulfillment, satisfaction, and love. Love. That was the idea of this whole lecture, wasn't it? See, let love into your life. We're craving love. We need love. Love is our very essence. If you break it down to who we are, we're not the body, we're not the mind. That's clear. We get that out of the way. We're spirit, so okay. That's amazing understanding. But then if we really deeply go to the deepest level of understanding, we understand I, the spirit soul, I'm not just spiritual energy, I'm love. I'm a little particle of love because spirit is love. It's not like love and spirit are separate. Love is synonymous with spirit. So actually that's who I am. I am love. Why? Because I'm a part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit. And the Supreme Spirit, known throughout the world as God, see, which also frightens people in a big way. God? This was something else. No, the Supreme Spirit from whom we came is love. Have you ever heard that? God is love? Of course. But what does it mean? See, is it just some vague whatever? No, it means the Supreme Spirit, the Supreme Person, who has many names, is love personified. And we are tiny little love personified. See? So that's who we are. And the nature of love is pleasure. That's what we all know. The baby knows that. See? You don't have to teach the baby that what he needs more than mother's milk and warm clothes and nice environment and Gucci is love. You take that away from the baby, and the baby is devastated. He doesn't have any reason to live. Love is the only reason to live, actually. And that's why many people are not living, see. And that's why people kill their bodies. Because there's no love, so there's no reason to live. The soul must have love to really fully live. But you can't cease to exist, so you live regardless. But when you're living without love, you're living in a void. You're living in a hell, really. See, and that's why we're so desperately trying to find love. See, oh, can you love me? Please love me. See, we dress in certain ways to attract someone so they'll love us. You see, we do all kinds of things to our bodies to send out that signal: love me, love me, love me. One time I was at a gathering where there's a whole bunch of very alternate type people, and I saw this guy, and he had a chicken bone through his ear, and I know the game, so I was thinking, well, I wonder what he's doing that for, because who's going to love him? I mean, who's looking for a chicken bone in the ear, So anyway, I just went through my mind, and then later I saw him with a girl who had a chicken bone through her nose. Aha, I understand. Birds of a feather flock together. And you see, bones to bones. It all worked. So no matter what, the message is, I want you to love me. See, look at me. I dye my hair green, purple. I cut it off. I do whatever I do. I tattoo. I don't tattoo. It's all about look at me, love me. And of course, the idea to love my body doesn't satisfy us. Oh, I really like you. You look just the way I want you to look, and so on. See, all kinds of features that I like, but it really doesn't satisfy the soul. See, it's not love. See, the love particle that we are has an obstacle between us and others in this world. It's called false ego. We're surrounded by a little invisible layer of false identity. See? So when my love energy, which radiates from us, all of us, when our love energy radiates through this false ego and comes out the other side, it's no longer love. It's not love. It's lust. You see? And that's what we are taking to be love. This is what we think love is. It's not love. It's lust. That's why the love in this world causes the most pain. It doesn't satisfy us. See? In this world, the one you love the most, quote love, the one you love the most eventually oftentimes becomes the one you hate the most. See? The people you just have casual relationships with, you kind of like them. You don't hate those guys. It's like, but the guy, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. And the next time, I hate you. See? Why? Because it's not love, it's lust. Lust means you owe me pleasure. This is what lust means. You owe me pleasure. So the world owes me pleasure. The whole world is functioning on this principle. Everybody is looking for pleasure, and the world in general, that includes all the people and the environment and everything, owes me pleasure. Because the love principle is pleasure. But in the lust transformation is getting pleasure. It's not giving pleasure. See? So, we're expecting this pleasure. It doesn't come as we want it. It doesn't satisfy me when it does come. I'm angry. And therefore, out of this comes hate. You see? Dissatisfied. I contemplated this object. I knew it was going to make me happy. I got attached to this object of pleasure. See? Then, this lust got bigger and bigger, and it didn't satisfy me, so now I'm angry, and out of anger comes all this hate and unbelievably, bad things, not good for anybody, pollutes everything. It said in the Vedas, anger pollutes everybody. It pollutes the entire being and those around you. See, you ever been? Of course we have. When we're around somebody that's really angry, you can feel the pollution. You know, you just get contaminated by that. See, even if you're not angry, you feel like, wow, that was dirty stuff, man. See, nobody likes that. But we're forced into that because this love in the lust in the form of love, or love in the form of lust, however you want to look at it, demands we do this because it's the most powerful force. You see, back to real love, love is the most powerful force. There's no force equal to love. No force. See, even the Supreme Lord is controlled by love. See? So those who love the Supreme Lord, truly love the Supreme Lord, He is controlled by them. The Supreme Controller is controlled by love. And that's perfect. See, to be controlled by love is perfect. But to be controlled by lust is absolute devastation. See? So we don't let love into our life because we've been through this too many times. Our hearts have been broken. Our hearts have been smashed. So each time we build another layer of protection, another shell. See, we're protecting ourselves. So our hearts become very, very hard. You see. Why the heart? Because we, the spirit soul, are located within the heart. This is where we are in the body. See, we're in this body, but where? In the heart. That's where all this is felt, in the heart. You see. The joys and the pains, etc., always felt in the heart. Because that's where we are. We're the experiencer. See. You get your heart broken, right? Love affair splits. Oh, my heart is broken. See? And you hear that. Oh, he broke my heart. I'm dying of a broken heart. See? You don't say, oh, he broke my foot. Oh, he left me and broke my foot. Unless you kicked him as he went out the door. And then he broke your foot. Oh, he broke my foot. But along with the foot came the heart. Oh. You see, we cry from the heart. That's where we are. We're in the heart. You see. But again, to protect ourselves, we are more and more very reluctant to give our heart to somebody. See, so we kind of are closed. We'll give our passion, we'll give our sweetness and our romance, etc., etc. But the heart, no. No. Not going to do that. It's too painful. See, I remember a person told me she'd been through a couple of broken hearts, and she said, I can't do this again, man. I can't do it again. It's too painful. See? And that's reality. That's exactly the truth, you see. We're experiencing the truth. But the propaganda is love, love, love. See? So we try. Because we don't know what else to do. We're driven by this need. See? So we don't know what else to do, so we try again. But finally, maybe we give up on humans. I've already been there. It's too tough. I can't do it. See? But we get a dog. I love my dog. And it's much easier. Like, wow, that was easy. Should have done this to begin with. See? In fact, you can experience the dog loves me much more than my wife. You see? You can do a test with this. See? It's a good test. You want to know if your dog or your wife loves you the most? Or you can reverse it and say the dog or your husband. See? Whichever way. Whichever side the fence you're on. Take your dog and take your wife and lock them both in the trunk of your car. And go away. Come back 8 hours later, open up the trunk, and see which one is the most happy to see you. And you'll know which one loves you the most. But if you try it, don't blame it on me. So you got your dog. Now, oh, my dog, I love him, and he loves me. You know, it's so easy. I don't have to do much. Just take him out for a walk. Cats are even easier, you see. But then what? The dog dies, and your heart's broken again because you gave your heart to your dog. See? And now your heart is broken again. See? But what do? You go get another one. See? It's impossible to give up. I remember one time I was working in a mountain town in Colorado doing a construction. We were building a patio for this home, and there was a lady inside who I knew, and she was it was a home management situation, and she was cleaning in the house, doing some things in the house. And her husband, who I also knew, came up. We were out there working on the patio. He came up and he said, "Look, I'm going in to house now, and if you hear some screaming, don't be surprised, because our dog just got run over, and I have to go and tell my wife." Okay, so he went in the house, and sure enough, and she was screaming and crying, and then he walked her out to the car, and put her in the car, and it was very sad, it was just like very sad. It was very affected in the heart, Well, what? A couple of weeks later, she's got a new dog. Start over, see? You can't give up. This is the point. Because that's who you are. You are the loving principle. You are a spark of love, see? So the idea I'm not going to love anybody is impossible. But the solution to all this frustration is learn where true love is to be found. There is the Supreme Person, which I have mentioned, the Supreme Lord. He is where we come from, see? Because we are a love particle is only because we come from the reservoir of love. Love personified, the source, you see? So, this is what all the true teachers, and this is what all the true scriptures have told everybody who would listen. Love the Lord, love God, love the Supreme Person. This is where you should direct your loving propensity. This temporary love in this world will not satisfy you. It will not do what you want it to do. It cannot. It's not that it won't. It cannot. It cannot. Whereas, if we direct our loving propensity to the Supreme Lord, we establish the relationship with Him that makes this exchange of love very real. Everything is solved. It's all perfect. That love is perfect. Lust is imperfect. It's just a masquerade. It's not true. It's not real. See? It looks like love, but it isn't. That's why I said in the Vedas, what starts out as very, very sweet oftentimes becomes very, very bitter in the end. That's material life. Very sweet in the beginning, very bitter in the end. Whereas true spiritual life, which relates to love, may start out even bitter. And just to my ears, I don't want to even hear it. See, it's bitter to my ears. Love God. That's some religious stuff. I don't want to know about that. See, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in churches. I don't believe in religion, whatever. So it's bitter to my ear, right? Many people leave lectures when I get to this point. The door's going. Because this is not what they want to hear, but it's what they need to hear. It's what we need to eventually accept. This is the only thing that will actually solve our problem of no love. And that is the biggest problem you can have. See, all the other problems don't even count compared to the problem of no love, because that's who I am. I cannot exist really without love. That's why we feel like we're dead, you see. So, it starts out bitter, but as I follow this path of love, real love, and it's very, very vividly described, perfectly outlined how to do this, in the yoga teaching, Bhakti Yoga, I actually find more and more attraction, more and more sweetness. And what I couldn't believe would actually be attractive to me now is, and it just increases ad infinitum until it becomes sweeter and sweeter and sweeter, and my life becomes more and more complete, more and more happy. I'm more and more satisfied. I have a smile on my face. This face. Face in the heart, not this face. It'll reflect on this face, but this is where we need to smile. A clown has a smile here, you see. So we walk around like clowns, ha, ha, ha. You know, and to make sure we're ha, 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 we drink a lot of alcohol. We take a lot of drugs, ha, ha, ha. Life is ha, ha, funny. We have our little things on the internet. We put our little happy faces, do, 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 do. See? You know, little smiley face. You say, not many of those, but he. You know, think positive. It's going to get better. Smile a lot. Brush your teeth. You know, so your smile looks good. Doesn't make the heart smile. See? We're trying to be happy, but we're not. Oh, I'm happy, I'm happy. Okay, what makes you happy? And then we give our formula for happiness. Well, and we give all these things. You know, I paid all my debts, and it's not raining today, and, you know, my boss left town, and my wife didn't wake up when I went to work this morning, and, you know, I don't have indigestion, and, yeah, I'm happy, you know. Take all that away. Are you still happy? You know, your wife did wake up. You do have indigestion. Your boss chewed you out because of all your mistakes, etc. You still happy? No, man. Not. You know, I won the lottery. See? Interesting. Oh, that'll make me happy if I win the lottery. That's why people buy tickets, right? They don't buy tickets to be sad. You know, you don't spend your money on lottery tickets to be on a bummer. You know, maybe I'll win and that'll make me happy. But they've done studies of all the lottery winners, and most of them say they wish they'd never won the lottery. Their life got worse, not better. You see? So there's only one solution. We can look and look innumerable lifetimes. Remember, we're eternal spirit souls. It doesn't end. So if I don't make it this lifetime, I can continue to look in my next and the next and the next. There'll always be places to look. But I won't find what I'm looking for, see? So when I actually turn my gaze, I direct my loving propensity. That's what we do when we try to find love. We're gazing, right? Ooh. See? So when I turn my gaze to the Supreme Lord, when I give my ears to this truth, when I begin to accept this truth, then I can actually more and more realize this truth. Realize it. It's an experience, see. And my heart now will become soft. See? I was just talking to a young boy, he's 20, I think 6 or 7, in Norway. Came to several of our programs back to back, night after night. He was coming. And he was hearing more and more about this and practicing the meditation, like the Skuranga meditation we just did. We taught him how to do that, and he started doing that and some other meditation techniques we showed him. And he came up to me after about the 3rd or 4th night, and he says, you know, for the first time, I'm starting to open up my heart a little bit, you know. He said, when I was young, my mother never gave me love. And he didn't go into a lot of detail about the relationship, but it was very obvious that it was not a loving relationship. And therefore, from that point on, he had closed himself, meaning closed his heart, you see. And he wouldn't open up, and he was suffering because of that. When he heard this and he started practicing this teaching, see, just short days, 3 or 4 days later, he could feel a change in his heart. And he said, for the first time, I'm starting to open up my heart, you know. And it continued. That I was only, you know, with him for like 5 or 6 times. But, you know, in that short time, you know, he was talking more. He was opening up more. He was so relieved, and he was feeling very different, you see. He said he lost himself for 7 years in video games. He didn't even come up. He basically just went into the video world, and he didn't even raise his head, you know, except to eat and maybe sleep, you see. Why? Because it was an escape. And many, many, many people are doing exactly this. See, it's an escape. Everybody's looking for a solution to the pain of no love. And we find it in one way or another way or another way. Increase the lust. Oh, that'll do it. It just burns me up. See, watch pornography. That'll do it. It burns me up. It's more miserable than ever. See, I'm completely devastated by every attempt. See? Until I hear the truth. Like this boy, he's very, very receptive because now something made sense. Video games didn't work. And all the other techniques he had used didn't work. You see? Now this made sense, and he was beginning to experience something. See? Why? Because it was connecting him with God. That's why. Very easy to understand. It's that broken connection that's the problem, and the reconnection is the solution. See? We come into this world, the connection is broken, we've completely forgotten who we are, where we're from, what life is for. Life is for love. You see, not lust. Life is for love. That's the only reason to live. You see, and that is the spiritual love that I'm referring to. We can achieve this. This can be our real life. Real life. We have a new year coming up in a few days. What, 3 days or 2 days or what? And usually on New Year's, people make, not many people I guess, but some people make New Year's resolutions. And they're making a resolution to try to make their life better. See, not many people say, this year I'm going to get fatter. And I'm going to get more ugly. And I'm going to be on a bummer as much as I can. I don't think so. If you made that resolution, you could keep it. You wouldn't have to break it. See? But we make the good ones. Oh, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to be, a better person. I'm not going to be so angry. I'm going to be whatever I want, I'm going to quit this and quit that, Hey, if you don't start, you don't have to quit. My dad told me that when I was young. He said, son, if you don't start, you never have to quit. I remembered that my whole life. Not that I didn't start some things, but a lot of things I didn't because I remembered. Oh, I'm trying to quit. I'm trying to quit this. I'm trying to quit that. See? But if we follow this path of love, we don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. We don't quit. We just enter into a new dimension of life. And you automatically walk away from it. You don't quit. You just walk away. It has no place in your life anymore. It's gone. I don't know anything about it. I don't have any room in my life for that. It has no meaning to me. See? Why do we do all these stupid things? Why do we smoke cigarettes? Trying to be happy. Why do we drink alcohol? Trying to be happy. Why do we take drugs? Trying to be happy. Why do we have all this illicit, stupid stuff going on? Trying to be happy. See? Why are we destroying the planet? Trying to be happy. Why are we doing all the things that are negative? Trying to be happy. Because that's the goal. Pleasure's the goal. See? So the only way it's going to change is when I have the right goal. Pleasure's still going to be the goal, but now the goal is a goal that's the goal that will give me the pleasure I'm looking for. And that's love for God. It's very, very simple stuff. That's what Lord Jesus came to teach. See, that was the reason he came to this world. See? No other reason. He came to this world to tell us the truth. And his truthful message was, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, thy mind, thy entire being. That's what his first commandment was. He was so strong about it, he said, this is my commandment. I command you. You see. And the second is like unto it, love thy neighbor as thyself. So at best, people are saying, oh, well, let's love everybody. I want to love everybody. But that's the second part of the message. So we're trying to love everybody without loving God. You can't do it. The heart has to be pure to love. See? So you can lust everybody in a gentle way till they cross you. You say, I love you, I love you, I love you. That's why they developed the drug ecstasy. You see? Take ecstasy. It's a chemical solution. You see? You take a little hit of ecstasy and you walk around, oh, I love everybody. I love the world. I love you. See? Boulder, Colorado was one of the first places ecstasy became very popular. And there's a lot of yuppies there, very affluent people, Mm? And so, you know, they were having their yuppie parties and taking ecstasy and, oh, I love you. You know, everybody was loving everybody. And, oh, let's get married. You know, so they get married till the ecstasy wore off. Oh, man, what did I do, you know? So there was actually a bumper sticker made, and a lot of people had it on the car. It says, do not get married for at least 2 weeks after taking ecstasy. Because it's not a chemical solution here. It's not some other solution. I have to do like everybody has to do, develop a loving relationship. But this time it's with the one who actually loves me back. It's the one who can actually give me what I need. And real love is about giving pleasure to the one you love. Lust is about getting pleasure from the one you, quote, love. See, even at best, it's like, I'll love you if you love me. Right? As long as I'm satisfying you, I'm giving you pleasure and you're giving me pleasure, our relationship is good. We love each other. But when on one side or the other that quits, you see, I'm not getting the pleasure that I want, I'm giving, but I'm not getting, then the relationship is over. You see, or at best becomes very difficult. That's the nature of material love, we'll call it. Whereas in spiritual love, it's all about giving. All I want to do is give love to the Supreme Person. And as a result, I get fulfilled. My heart is overflowing with love. Now I can give it to everybody, my neighbor. That's why Jesus said, then love your neighbor. You can't love your neighbor first. Love God, and then you not only can love your neighbor, you will love your neighbor, you'll love your friends, you'll love your enemies, you'll love all living entities. And you'll love all of God's creation. It's all in connection. And that's where love is, see? And everybody's happy that's in this condition. And even if they don't have that purity and they're not able to love you, if you give that unconditional love for them, it'll affect them. Somehow it'll touch something that nothing ever has before. They'll feel something, see? And they won't even understand it, but they'll feel it. Love is a feeling. It's not a philosophy. It's an experience of the heart. And they'll feel a warmth coming from you that they didn't even know about. You see. And they can understand. It's just not about what he's trying to get from me. You see. It's about unconditional giving. This is love. This is Jesus' message. He said, do this and you'll be happy. You will be free. Then you're free. You're free. That's the only freedom. And all this stuff is ever-increasing bondage. See? So the pseudo-freedom that everybody's, pursuing today is a noose around the neck that gets tighter and tighter with each new freedom until we eventually hang ourselves completely. So a wise person listens to the words of the wise. Jesus was the wise person. He came and taught the wise men. Those who were considered wise came to him and bestowed gifts upon him. This is where the whole gift thing started, you see. But this was perfect giving because they were giving gifts to a great spiritual, realized soul, a lover of God. That's the spiritual etiquette. You go to see an exalted personality, you bring them a gift. They did, you see. The shepherds came, all those came to worship him, you see. This should be our understanding, Don't take Jesus out of our lives. Add Jesus in. Add God in. Add all these devotees of God in, see. They have the message of truth. The spiritual master brings us this knowledge. He gives us the process of bhakti yoga. He says, here, if you do this, you'll be happy. My spiritual masters have always told me this message. Never will it change. It's an eternal message. It's not like they'll tell you this message today and tomorrow they'll tell you something else. It's an eternal message. And as an eternal spirit soul, if we accept that eternal message, our life becomes it's already eternal, but it'll become situated in eternal happiness and pleasure. It's called ananda. In the yoga terminology, Sanskrit terminology, it's called ananda, spiritual bliss. It is ecstasy, but not a chemically induced temporary up and down. It's the actual jubilation and bliss of the soul. This is yoga. This is pure yoga. See? You come to this point, and it's like nothing you've ever experienced before. Just a little hint, just a little glimpse is like nothing you ever had before. See? But as long as we pile on the illusion, we continue to believe the lies and propagate the lies, it can't happen. It can't happen. So at some point we got to put our head up, get a breath of fresh air, and take a new direction in life. Let that be your New Year's resolution. You see, I'm going to take a new direction in life, and that means a spiritual direction in life. You know, I'm going to ask for guidance from God Himself. I'm going to try to find love where love is to be found. Not looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in all the wrong faces. Looking for that place where Jesus said it is, where all the great teachers have said it is. See, where the whole Vedic knowledge is directing us. You see, all the great masters, the lovers of God, have said the same thing. And then we can be fulfilling our eternal position as that loving person we are. That's who we are. And we can become our real self. You see. I could go on, but I think that's enough. I think the idea has been presented. And those who hear this, some will maybe find some interest. We hope so. I hope your new year will be one where you begin the journey, and if you're already on the journey, your journey will continue and continue until you to perfection. Love is perfect. Let us all become perfect in this way. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda